If you are one of the absolute OGs who lived and died by Gears of War in its heyday, which chances are you are because you clicked on this video, you're probably foaming at the mouth at the thought of the next Gears game finally making its appearance. Now, after a 5-year drought of news since the last installment of the franchise, which we can all admit got some pretty mixed reviews overall. And now we finally have something to chew on that actually has some body to it. And it's kind of crazy to think that one of the staples of the Xbox 360 era, a game that took a very commendable second place to the Halo series, has been absent from the entire lifespan of a console generation. However, there might be a very good reason for that, if not several good reasons. So let's dive into the cool news that we've heard about Gear 6. Starting with the fact that there has been tons of leaks and speculations over the years about Gear 6. However, all of those leaks have always felt hollow or never seemed to have any actual substance to them, because typically when there's a leak about a game, a small measure of time later, we will get a trailer or an official statement. But in the last few years, there's been absolute radio silence on the status of Gears 6, even though we all know and remember that Gears 5 ended on a huge cliffhanger. We all know that Gears 6 has to happen, it's just a matter of frickin' when. I mean, if you look back at the production of Gears games, no one could keep their mouth closed about what new weapons are coming, multiplayer maps we can expect, interviews. There was always something being said about the next installment. So it's been kind of weird we've gotten nothing in the past few years. But recently on Kind of Funny Games Xcast, where they had special guest Jeff Grubb, who alongside Paris, who I believe is a co-host of the show, they made a very compelling prediction on the state of Gear 6 and when we might actually see it become available on consoles. And I want to lead off with Paris's comment, who stated that if something is to happen, it's likely we get a tease similar to the Fable tease back in 2021, where we got a full minute-long trailer revealing that Fable was going to make a comeback. However, the juicy part of Paris's statement comes via Twitter post in regards to the new Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra game, where Paris happened to tweet a simple "imagine how Gears 6 would look on Unreal Engine 5, to which the lead technical art director at the Coalition cryptically replied, "Yep." And yes, that is definitely the kind of reply that lots of people could read too far into. However, it feels very tactfully applied. So the possibility that we get something like a Fable level tease for Gears this year looks promising, but not just because of hearsay or even that tweet, but because of what Jeff Grubb has heard rumblings of as well. And that's because after Paris had finished his thoughts about Gears 6, Jeff was asked about the legitimacy of the speculated all-white digital Xbox Series X. And rather than answering that question, he steered back to the likelihood of us getting news on Gears, adamantly stating that he's actually heard that some stuff could be happening with Gears 6 this summer. And that is a direct quote. Now, I don't know who his plug is for that information, but timeline-wise, their predictions all seem to line up, considering the fact that Xbox wants to release their next big console in 2026, and since they don't have 60 FPS on the Series X, maybe this could be a launch day title for the next-gen Xbox, and we could finally see players getting 60 FPS in the Unreal Engine 5 for Gears 6. Now, with all of that being said, if we don't get Gears 6 news, at the very least, it would be amazing to get a Master Chief Collection equivalent for Gears of War, a Marcus Phoenix collection, if you will. Now, there has also been a ton of speculation that this could also be in development, and I think it would be very well received. I don't know if you've played Gears 4 or 5 lately, but you can still matchmake in those and find games. So creating a central hub where people can play those games again in one location could quite honestly be very well received and tide people over until 2026, where they have to spend a ton of money on this next-gen console and Gears 6. But yeah, guys, no reason to drag this video out any further. What are your thoughts on the possibility of us seeing Gears 6 this year, possibly at Summer Games Fest, of which I will be attending? So if you're there, try to swing by and say hi. It's in LA at the YouTube Theater. It's always a good show. I went to my first one last year. Super fun time. But yeah, if you guys made it this far, consider dropping a sub, and I will catch you all in the next video.